Hello and good morning. Welcome to day 2 of ScriptGym. I am your professor, Robert Naturman, and welcome to my home office. You can see ScriptGym behind me. And we're going to talk very much, in a brief way about the 5 pillars of ScriptGym, IMDCA. And I didn't want you to just read about it. You can obviously read in far more detail either on Canvas and also in the book, which is on Canvas, and there's a chapter for each one of these elements. And say if you follow all of these elements, really you can succeed at pretty much anything that you apply them to. They're not esoteric concepts. They are principles of success. And again, if it's so easy, why doesn't everyone do it? I never said it was easy. It's not easy, but it does work. And whether you put it toward writing a script or training for a marathon or your relationships or financial, whatever you decide that is a priority to you and you apply these IMDCA, you will find success at it. But before we start that, we start with a quote for the day, which is, "Creativity takes courage." And this is a brave thing that you're doing by taking this class. It's a brave thing to open yourself up and be vulnerable and express yourself. And Henri Matisse said that, the French artist, so I think he knew what he was talking about. So after that, then we go to our warm-up, which I've put a video on there. It's from a program called Insanity by Shanti, and it's part of the Beachbody program. And you only need to do about the first 10 minutes of the warm-up. Like I said, you don't have to do the workout itself, but do the warm-up, and the stretch, if you'd like, I think will help as well. Okay, and from there, then we go to our writing exercise. And this wants you to take your notebook out. So please take your notebook out, and you can put today is Tuesday, and the prompt is, I want you to think of what inspired you to become a writer, a future screenwriter, and or film, and to pursue your career in film. It could have been a person, it could have been a movie, it could have been a song, it could have been someone you heard speak, someone in your family. It really could be anything. It could be your upbringing. It could be really anything. But what inspired you to want to pursue that? So I want you to take 10 minutes, pause the video, and then come on back. Welcome back. I hope you wrote what inspired you to be here, because that goes right into our lecture, which we're going to start. Inspiration is the first element, the I of IMDCA, and it's the most important one, probably. It's the one that gets it all started, and I want you to think of inspiration as your premise. It's the premise where you have a premise in your film, is your log line, your idea of what you want to accomplish, what your story is about. It's the idea, again. And this is the premise for your life. And again, inspiration can come from positive elements, or it can come from negative elements. It can come from frustration, or it can come from reading a magazine, or it can come from, again, a speech that you heard. It could be watching a movie, and like, oh my gosh, that's what I want to do. But again, it's the most pure of all of them. And it's the one that you continually go back to when things get difficult, because it's going to get difficult. I'm sorry to say, but your pursuit in your career may not just be all a bed of roses. There may be some roadblocks along the way. And when it's difficult, when you have to work a crappy job, when you have to, do things other than writing or editing or whatever it is that you want to be doing to pursue that career, or you're working for someone that you don't really connect with, but you still have to do the job, or you've done a film and you've worked so hard on it and it's a flop, and I've had enough of this. Go back to the inspiration, to the reason why you're doing this in the first place. If you do that, you remember, oh, right, yeah, that's what I wanted to do, and that's why I wanted to do it. Right, I get it. That was the spark. That was the thing that changed me. That was the inciting incident. Like I said, the inciting incident is the what happens to your character to break the status quo and then propel the film in the direction that it's going to be going. Okay, number 2. motivation. And motivation is the reason why. Think of it as your story. It's what you tell yourself, or what, in a film, the story is what it's about. And this is the story of your journey, of your life, of your pursuit, of whatever it happens to be that you're pursuing, whether, again, creative, financial, relationship, whatever you're applying IMDCA to. It's the story that you tell yourself. And the why, again, can be from a positive place. I want to inspire. I want to be a role model. I want to change the world. I want to connect with people. I want, to have creative freedom. All these wonderful things. Or it can come from a negative place. You can have very difficult upbringing, or maybe you're a relative you watched doing jobs that they hated, and you said, I will never do that. I will never work in an office ever again. Or you have poverty, and you're pursuing it for the money, and the financial security that can come with it. Again, it can come from so many different places, but it's so central to what you're doing. If you don't have a strong enough why, you when it gets difficult again, you will not be able to continue. It's the grounding, it's the foundation for all of this. So as I say, it can come from frustration. I can give you so many stories of people that were really at the end of their rope, and they just felt like, I can't go on another day, and I have to do something else. I can tell you, Billy Joel, when he was doing The Stranger, which was the album that ultimately changed his life, he showed up 2 days before they were supposed to record, and he had two and a half songs done. The producer, who was a big name producer, said, "Look, man, if you don't have these songs in 2 days, I'm out of here, and I'm done, and your career is done. You're going to be playing weddings and bar mitzvahs the rest of your career." And it was so painful, the idea of doing that, of living a life not pursuing his creative, dream, that he wrote 9 songs in about a day and a half. Showed up. Long story short, the album became one of the biggest of all time, 31 million records, something sold, and he was playing Madison Square Garden within a year. So, you never know that if that's going to be strong, but his was so strong. And I can tell you for myself, very, very briefly, I had gone back to work. My wife went to school. I had my career going pretty well, and then we had kids, and we had a mortgage, and I went back to work. And I was sitting at California Plaza downtown, and in my lunch break, and it was a beautiful day, and people were just happy and having lunch, and I just said, if I don't make a change in my life, in 5 years, I'm going to be at the exact same spot, working a crappy job that I don't love just to support my family. I said, I have to do something different, because I had just missed a deadline for a contest. And I said, I was feeling such a level of failure that I said, I'm going to change my life. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I'm going to change my life. And that day, I saw, I had till this date to apply to USC for grad school. Now, I was quite a bit older. I wasn't 22 at this point. I was almost 40. But I applied. I was honest in my application. I said, this is who I am, et cetera, et cetera. And I got in, and I was gone within 2 years. And then everything after that, happened. I got an agent and a manager. I sold my script. I started, doing all these work for other companies, and so on and so forth. Anyway, long story short, it came from a place of absolute frustration. It wasn't a positive motivation. It wasn't just to make money. It was like, if I don't change my life, I don't know what's going to happen. There was no net anymore. Anyway, that's such an important thing. So from motivation, we've got I am, then we are into the D, which is dedication. Dedication is when it becomes real. Dedication is when you start and you move forward and you do the things. So when I had the motivation to go on to grad school and change my life, dedication were the steps that I had to take to get there. And it's when, again, things become real and, when there's structure. So think of it as the structure of your script. which is the third, sometimes the most important element of your script. You've got, your premise, which is your idea, your story, which is what it's about, and then structure. How is it told? What are the steps you need to take to get there? After dedication, we've got 3 legs. You can have a 3-legged table, but we need another leg, and that leg is the C, which is extremely important, which is commitment. What is commitment? Commitment is doing it when it becomes really hard, when you do not leave yourself the option of not doing it. What do you commit to? Do you commit to a marriage? Yes, you do. Because I guarantee you, in any relationship, things get difficult. Things are not always perfect lovey-dovey. But you go back to not only why am I with this person, but meeting this person and the reason why initially you wanted to be with that person. Now, things may have changed. You may have changed. But ultimately, remembering that, the purity of that relationship, and then the why. Why do I want to spend my time and my life and, have children and all these things with this person? I think people forget that. They get so mired in the difficulty. And same with film. You're in film, you're writing scripts. Like I said, you're working crappy jobs. You're working for someone you don't respect. If you're lucky enough to get a job, you're just, working as an assistant or whatever it is. And this is not what I bargained for. And you can quit. Anybody can quit. Or if you decide to stay, how do you do that? You go, again, back to inspiration, back to the motivation, and then what steps do I need to continue to take to get there? And then you commit to it because you've been, maybe doing it for so long, and it's the only thing you can do or want to do, and despite the difficulties, because it could be financial, it could be creative, it could be whatever, you continue doing it. That's really a hard thing to do. And then, the most important of all is A, action. Action is the daily steps you need to take. And if it's a relationship, it could be, taking time out, of the day and spending an hour every day with that person and just sitting and talking and shutting your phones off. If it's financial, it's, going on investment websites and talking to your brokers or whatever it is. If it's creative, it's sitting there and writing that script, whether alone or with a partner, every single day. It's getting it out to whoever, doing 100 query letters a day, whatever it takes. The action steps that you have to take to get there. And if things don't work, then you shift and you do other things. And again, when they're difficult, just keep going back. Go back to go forward. So, there we have it in a nutshell. IMDCA. I, inspiration, which is your premise. M, motivation, which is your story. D, which is dedication, which is the structure. C, commitment, which is character, the character of you. It's you. It's what character do you have? Do you have it inside? Do you have that character to pursue and to keep going? And A, action, which is the dialogue, which is the words that you need to keep pushing you forward. And that's what does in a script. Those are the 5 main elements of a script, and those are the 5 main elements of ScriptGym, and there's the 5 elements that if you apply to any aspect of your life, you can succeed. So, now that you're a big success, let's get you down to your workout. Again, please go on Canvas and please go through it and read through it. I may quiz you tomorrow about it, perhaps. But also, I go into much more detail about it. And you can go on the book as well. So, we've gone through all that, and I know it's quite extensive, but I really do think it's so critical to success. About action, here's a quote from Thomas Jefferson. Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. act. Action will delineate and define you. Thomas Jefferson said that. Now, he wasn't perfect by any means, but he did know what he was talking. He was fairly successful. So I have an equation. I say you plus the things that you know you must do, which is commitment, plus not taking action equals exactly where you are, which is failure, disappointment, or lack of success. However, you plus the things you know you must do, commitment, plus taking action and doing them, action, equals the results you're after, success. So all of those four without action, you'll go nowhere. But all those four plus taking the daily action will get you there. Okay, so the workout, which I demonstrated yesterday, you have 20 high knees. Remember, your knee to your elbow, not your elbow to your knee. Do a 15-second plank, 10 lunges, 15-second wall sit. Remember, that's leaning against the wall with your knees at a right angle, and 6 push-ups. Okay, and your homework will be to write a one-page synopsis of or what's known as a one sheet, or a pitch on paper. But it's your synopsis in one page. And for those who haven't pitched yet, you come in on Wednesday to pitch your script. Those that have, great, and you just write the one sheet based on the log line and the pitch that you already did. If you have any questions, let me know. I know this is this is going to be by far the longest video, because I really did not want to just put it down in text. I wanted to do a video where I went over this stuff because it's so critically important. IMDCA. There it is. Inspiration, motivation, dedication, commitment, and action. You take those, you can apply them in any aspect of your life, and you will succeed. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow, and have a wonderful day. Really take in, this stuff. There's nothing really more to do beyond just read it and really assimilate it and take it in. As far as, again, do the workout, the warm-up and the workout, and the writing exercise, and just do your one-page synopsis of your script. Okay? And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. And have a great day. Have a great Tuesday. And take care. Bye.